I feel like a lot of trans kids, especially the younger trans kids, it's like they always knew, like trans boys who always wanted their hair cut and wanted to wear, baggy shorts and t-shirts. They're like, I was never a girl. But like, it's weird because I felt like a long time growing up, like I didn't feel anything weird about it.
Right before high school started, he came to us in the summer and he told us that he wanted to be called by a different name. And we were confused, like why? And he said that he just wanted like a more gender neutral name. It was probably in February 2 years ago that he told us, I'm a boy. Like that was it, I'm a boy, and I want my name to be Oliver. So that was it. We were pretty freaked out.
They loved me, they supported me. There was never a moment of like, we like you less for this, but there was a lot of like, just not understanding it. Me and my mom would like sit down and have talks about this, and it would be so frustrating to me. She was like, why can't you just be a girl that like, has short hair and stuff like that? And I'm like, but because I'm not a girl with short hair. Like, that's just not what I am.
By the time he came out to his parents as a transgender male, Oliver Wagner had been thinking about his gender identity for a while. But he had also been battling depression and anxiety since as early as 6th grade.
It's like, getting out of bed is like the worst thing to do. Like, you just don't want to do anything. And I get like that. Like, I just sort of hide myself away and like don't feel any motivation to do anything. I would just feel awful and just like really like wound up, I guess is the word. Like it's just like a lot all at once, and it would just get overwhelming for me.
No. I think it was a typo.
I felt that he was having a hard time when like we started arguing a lot more, and it was like he just seemed different.
We didn't grasp what was going on as far as his mental health was concerned. It was just like, why are you being like this, Why does everything have to be so dramatic, I just wanted peace. We just didn't get it at all. And even though I work in the mental health field, it's 100% different when it's your own kid.
In his junior year in high school, Oliver attempted suicide. According to health researcher Russell Toomey, who specializes in minority populations, the odds were stacked against Oliver and other individuals who identify as transgender, gay, lesbian, bisexual, or queer, or LGBTQ.
We know from about 30 years of research now that lesbian, gay, and bisexual individuals are at heightened risk or experience more depression, suicide, ideation, more suicide attempts, more anxiety, more substance use compared to people who identify as straight or heterosexual. So that risk is about 2 to 6 times the rates that we see among heterosexuals. We know directly from research that experiences of victimization, discrimination, bullying related to one's identity is associated with more depression, more anxiety, and that these factors then contribute to things like suicide ideation or suicide attempts.
After his suicide attempt, Oliver was hospitalized, and that's when everything changed.
That was what set off, like, Mom, I need to have therapy, and you need to make me go, and like, we need to step through this because I don't want to have to do this again. Like, I don't want to go through that again because it sucked.
The Wagners tried multiple therapists, but no one clicked for Oliver.
You have to like play this guessing game of like, is this person educated about this, or am I gonna have to be educating this grown person with like a PhD, which is horrible. Like, it's the worst. I felt like I knew I needed therapy and I needed that sort of place, and I never got it.
We know that, for instance, at the University of Arizona Medical School, their whole medical degree program, they only get an hour of LGBT inclusive information. And so many of our health providers are not knowledgeable about LGBT specific or unique experiences.
Then the Wagners found Living Out Loud, a health and wellness center specifically geared for the LGBTQ community. It's the first and only center of its kind in Arizona, and it aims to offer counseling, mental health and primary care, help with job placement and housing, support groups, and even social events, all without judgment.
When we first opened, some of the members that came in referred to this place as home. And when they said home, they really meant the ideal home of being accepted, and very simple things like offering them water or offering them some snacks. Very simple things made it seem like you matter, you're welcome here, you belong here, this is yours.
We do know that when that support does exist, that LGBT youth have much better health outcomes. So there is a great study out of the University of Washington that looks at children who are transgender identified. And they compare them to this sample of non-transgender identified kids in Seattle. And the transgender youth in this sample are supported by their families. And when they compare those two populations on mental health outcomes, there is no difference.
For Oliver and his family, finding supportive and knowledgeable care at Living Out Loud was transformative.
It was like, okay, this clicked, this worked. This is finally what I've been waiting for, something that's going to help him.
It's just really nice to go in somewhere and not think like, you know, the person who checks you in is like judging you or your kid, or, you know, like they're not doing that there. They're just amazing.
Being able to go to a therapist who like gets it and gets how hard it is being trans and being gay and being all these different things, like, is just great. Like, it makes it easier, if even just a little bit.
Helping Oliver heal and continue his transition helped his family heal too, in ways they never expected.
You feel like you're grieving the loss of one child, even though you're gaining a different child. It's just, it's a change. That's not the kid you thought you had, but I mean, it's still a great kid. It's just a different one. So it was hard at first, but it ended up ultimately being probably one of the greatest things that happened in our family, honestly.
Oh, got him.
Definitely